This is Boo the Cartoon Guy, and you're listening to Boo the Cartoon Guy Show, where I take a critical look at cartoons and animation of today, tomorrow, and yesterday. Today I'm going to be doing a segment called An Interview with a Toon, where I sit down with a one-on-one conversation with a character that we all know and love, and figure out just what makes them tick. I get the honor to welcome Snarf from Thundercats to the show. Welcome, Snarf. Snarf! Thank you, Boo. Snarf! So, how did you get started with the Thundercats? I think that's a question that we've all been asking is, how did you make the cut?
Snarf. Well, you see, I was Lionel's nursemaid, Snarf. I was responsible for watching over him as a kid and taking care of him because his parents were not in the picture. So, when these producers offered Lionel the job, he told them he wasn't going to do it unless I was brought along. And the producers basically made the sacrifice and said, sure, okay, you can bring him with you, Snarf.
Aha! So you're like a caregiver to him. Wait, if you've known Lionel since he was a kid, does that mean you're the oldest Thundercat?
Snarf, yes.
Alright, I can buy that. So, what was it like getting to watch over baby Lionel? I mean, that must have been fascinating, seeing him going through puberty and adolescence. Must have been a joy, right?
Snarf, it was hell, Snarf. Lionel just would never stay out of trouble, Snarf. Always finding things like Chitara and the Sword of Omen, Snarf. And when he hit puberty, it was the worst, Snarf.
How could Lionel going through puberty be that bad? Cats everywhere look up to Lionel. How can you say that it was so bad?
Snarf, Lionel was always chasing after Chitara, trying to sheath his Sword of Omens, if you catch my drift. Of course, Chitara never let him. At first. And before she gave in, Lionel would always get discouraged and come to me for advice. I told him, look, you just gotta be patient, Lionel, and she'll come around.
So, when Lionel got rejected, what would he do?
Well, you see, that's where he turned to me, Snarf. You might say he did things in my Snarf.
Ooh, that doesn't sound very pleasant, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't expecting that. So, your connection to Lionel is how you got involved with the show, right? Well, what was it like working with the other Thundercats? I mean, you obviously know Chitara almost as long as Lionel, if you had to deal with that all the time. But how did you meet Tigra and Panthro?
Snarf, well, you see, it's a funny story. Snarf, Lionel dragged me out to a Chippendale show, Snarf, thinking it was an all-you-can-eat chipmunk buffet. You should have seen the look on his face when we got there, Snarf. But anyways, we were about to leave when we saw one of the performers get in a fight with the owner of the club, Snarf. And needless to say, the owner kicked out the performer, Snarf. And it turned out to be Panthro. Saying that he was down on his luck, we felt that he looked good enough and he was strong enough, clearly, to be on Thundercat, so we offered him the job, Snarf.
So, what about Tigra? How'd you make that work?
Snarf, we found him in a box in a dark alleyway. Like all tigers, Snarf.
I never would have guessed that. I never would have imagined that. So, with that said, once you had the essential crew, the next step once you had the cast was the theme song, right? Where I believe it goes something like Thunder, 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 Thundercats, ho! The ho was referring to Chitara, right? I mean, we all kind of got that.
Snarf, it was Lionel's idea.
No, really? In every episode, though, there's just this repetition of ho, ho, ho.
Lionel thought it would be a good idea if we just reminded Chitara just how we thought of her. Snarf?
So, when it gets to the part where Thundercats are loose, I'm pretty sure that's what it says, right? I think I get what that's referring to.
Snarf, yes. We were promiscuous bunch, Snarf.
So, you had this great run with Thundercats. 2, 3, 4 seasons, if I recall right. And then what happened? Where did it all go wrong?
Snarf, well, you see, I kinda killed the show, Snarf, after getting it started, Snarf. People just got tired of me saying Snarf. I really think that's what it was. People just got tired of the Snarf.
How can anybody get tired of Snarf? I mean, you are one of the greats. You're as big as Garfield. I guess literally and figuratively speaking on that. So what's the problem? What's the big deal here? I mean, you even got your own chance to have superpowers. You come from a race that's called Snarf. You were awesome. I don't see why everybody hates on you.
Snarf, thank you, Boo, Snarf. Well, you see, I think it was when I got Mamra's powers and I could single-handedly thwart him that the show just lost all credibility. Nobody wants to see a cat defeating a mummy, Snarf.
Oh, but that was a great episode where he invoked this evil source, gained the powers of Mamra, and turned it against him. What was not to love about that? I mean, you were more badass than Lion-O at that point.
Snarf, yes, well, Lion-O didn't like being upstage, Snarf.
So when the show was cancelled, where did everybody go? I mean, certainly you were looking for new work, right?
Snarf, yes, well, it was a rocky road for me, Snarf. I was doing insult bits on Robot Chicken and South Park, Snarf. It's not easy being a cartoon out of work, Snarf.
Oh no, it certainly isn't. The job market's just terrible right now. I mean, when Cartoon Network goes to almost half of its programming being live action, what can a cartoon cat like you do? I mean, did you try out for any big roles or anything?
Snarf, yes, I tried out for SWAT Cats, but it turns out I was too fat of a cat, Snarf. So the only thing I could land was a stunt double for Garfield, Snarf. I was always taking pies to the Snarf, and then I couldn't kick Odie off the table hard enough for the director's liking, Snarf. And Garfield was just a bitch. Snarf.
You would think that Garfield would just be a great person to be a stunt double for. I mean, all he does is sleep and eat. How hard of a job could that have been?
Snarf, it wasn't easy, Snarf. It just wasn't easy. I couldn't even remember my lines, Snarf. I ended up saying I hate Tuesday, Snarf. Tuesday, Snarf.
Tuesday. I can see where that would have gone wrong at. So what did you do after being a stunt double for Garfield?
Well, Snarf, I tried my hand at music, Snarf. All the washed-up cartoons were doing it. Scooby-Doo, Snarf. Josie and the Pussycat, Snarf. It was the way we were going, Snarf. So, my stage name was Snarfine Dion. And I only had one head, and it didn't go over very well, Snarf. My Snarf will go on. It was featured in that movie about that ship. Battleship, yeah, that was the one.
You have a hit. My Snarf will go on. That's great. Hey, if Eddie Murphy can have 30 minutes of music fame, why can't you, right? That leads me to ask you an important question. What does Snarf even mean? You're always saying it. It's your name. It's the name of your race. It's the big part of your vocabulary. And people have been wondering for years, what is the true definition of Snarf?
Snarf, well, you see, it's kind of complicated. It's kind of a mix between Smurf and Narf. Decided that I should follow suit after these blue people. That's where the directors got the idea for it. I mean, it was just my name to begin with, and it just kind of said, oh, it sounds like Smurf, Snarf. And then Steven Spielberg ripped me off and came up with that Pinky character, and it's always going Narf. It's just Narf without the Snarf.
That's tragic how a cartoon character can just be so ripped off from his catchphrase, and yet nobody cares. And Pinky's been shouting Narf for years. Let me tell you, that is one messed up lab rat. They recently tried to redo Thundercats with a younger cast, and I noticed that they cast you as slimmer, and you don't even get your trademark Schnarf. Schnarf? Oh, great, now you've got me started saying Schnarf.
Yeah, I know. I saw the new show, and they didn't even contact me about it. I was upset. No, I was pissed, Schnarf. I guess the generation just wanted a less fat, orange, less annoying cat. That's really all there is to it, Schnarf.
Well, that's a shame, but thankfully it really didn't do too well. I hear it's already canceled. So now what's next? What is your next option as the Schnarf? Schnarf? I mean, you're like the dude from Big Lebowski of cartoons. You're the Schnarf. I mean, certainly you could get work doing anything you wanted.
Schnarf, yes. Well, the gecko lizard just kind of broke his leg, and they're looking for new mascots to sell insurance. So I'm thinking about trying out for that part, Schnarf. I mean, 15 minutes or more could save you on your car insurance. Sound pretty good, right, Schnarf?
Car insurance. Yes, that is brilliant. I wish you good luck. I hope you get the role. Thank you for your time, and good luck. We're all cheering for you. It's been an honor, Schnarf.
Schnarf, no thank you, Boo. Schnarf.
This is Boo the Cartoon Guy, reminding you that you are never too old for cartoons.